Hello, everybody. The DUI guy is back with some more content. Can everybody see me okay? Everybody can hear me? We changed our setup a little bit. I just want to make sure that everybody can see and hear me before I start talking. Okay. We got some yeses in the chat. That's a good start. Greetings from Las Vegas. Well, greetings from Kentucky, Las Vegas vocalist. And here from Alaska, says Garrett. What's up, Rudy? Ash plus 2. There he is. Ash plus 2, our newest success story, I guess. Ash plus 2. He's his name's Brett, and he was actually one of the comments on one of my posts a couple of months ago, and he reached out. It was very strange, but I liked it. It was proactive. He said, do you have any positions open at your firm? And I said, I can always create one. I mean, what are you looking for? What do you need? At first, I thought he was just going to be somewhere, God knows where. Because I get these requests periodically, and people say, I'm in Arkansas. I'll do some remote work for you if you'd like. And I'm like, I don't have any remote work for you. I'm sorry. Where are you from? He said, I'm from Louisville. I said, oh, shit. I'm from Louisville, too. We're both from Louisville. So I said, you know what? Hop on over into my email and send me a resume. And he did. I sat him down in that chair right over there, and he gave me an interview. And lo and behold, he now works for me. So welcome to the team, Brett. It's really good to have you. Salute, Chris, Garrett, hi, Malone. Hi, Malone. Richard, Sean, Star Rider, Justin from Tennessee, Kevin's in the house. Sean from Canada, Virgin Islands, Top Hulbert. My goodness. Germany, News Now Lipsia, our newest member. Say hello to News Now Lipsia. Time for my daily dose of the DUI guy. That's what's up. You got it, Brandon. Massachusetts, Dallas, Georgia, Great Sky. Hello, Nate. Yeah, don't forget to like this video. Thank you for the reminder, Learning the Ropes. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. I'd be very, very much appreciative of that. So thank you, guys. Thank you. As you can see, oh, you got the notification, Liberty Cause. Yeah, it looks like it. People are filing in here. It's nice. It's nice. We changed this. I mean, all I really did is I took the camera from this monitor right here, because I have two monitors. I have two monitors in front of me, two computer monitors. They're pretty big. They're like 32-inch monitors. And I took the camera off of this monitor. Oh, I just realized I didn't turn on my ring light. Here we go. That should make things a little bit brighter. I took the camera from that monitor and I put it over here. So now you get a nicer view of the diplomas and awards. And it's kind of like at an angle. I don't know. I did it for Zoom. And then I was like, why don't I just do it for my stream as well? So we got that going for us now. So very exciting stuff. The only problem is I wish I had like a monitor behind my camera so I could at least, you guys could see. It's as if I'm talking to you all directly. I learned that from Rob, by the way. I never knew that, because then if I'm speaking to you like this right now, it's like I'm looking in your eyes. I'm looking at the camera lens directly. So every time I speak, I'm going to try and speak from that direction now. And then, of course, when I'm reading something, my head is turned, my eyes are this way or my eyes are that way. It looks like I'm not speaking to you directly. Thank you, Brian. He says my me wall looks good. I appreciate that. That's still not all of it. There's still more stuff on that side and up there. So it's nice. It's nice. Yeah, last week, I don't know what happened. I guess people were not getting the notification. I don't know what happened. I was not getting as much viewership as I would have liked last week when I had my birthday stream, but it was fun. We had a lot of fun. We did we talked about Scram bracelets, the secure continuous remote alcohol monitoring, Scram, SCRAM, monitoring bracelets. And so we talked about that a little bit, not too extensively. I mean, it was literally, if you weren't here last week, you just missed out on all the fun. You didn't really miss out on a lesson or anything. You didn't learn. Nobody really learned anything except just a brief overview of what Scram is. I think of the hour and a half that we were on it, which was almost exactly an hour and 30 minutes, I think I've spent 2.5 minutes, maybe 3, talking about Scram bracelets, and the other hour and 27 minutes we were just having fun. Of course, the highlight of the day, I think this is what Liberty Cause is really referring to. The highlight of the night, I should say, the highlight of the night was, as a matter of fact, was the what's it called? The musical chairs. The musical chairs. That was the highlight. That was the highlight because we had a lot of fun with that. And if you guys missed it, just go watch the last 30, maybe 25, 30 minutes of last week's stream. I had a bunch of people over. I think people were really thrown off because they're used to seeing this backdrop. My diplomas at the very least, different angle, but still white background, me in the chair, suit and tie. And this time I was dressed in like a Hawaiian, like a blue Hawaiian shirt. And there were a bunch of people behind me. So I think everybody was like, what the heck is going on here? This is not the DUI guy. That doesn't look like him. So we only got like maybe 40. The highest peak was like 40 people, which I'm not complaining about. Like I said, it was just fun for me. I mean, I even got demonetized on that video because I played some copyrighted music. I wasn't even thinking, because how often I'm not a streamer like a gamer or anything. Like, these people know, and I know now, like, I just never had that experience. Gamers know not to play copyrighted music because their videos on YouTube will get demonetized 100%. And I wasn't even thinking. We played like the Macarena and Doja Cat and a couple other songs during the musical chairs. And so that was unfortunate. I got demonetized, but I don't care. I'm going to get like almost only a couple thousand views on that video anyway. So who cares? I'm not even in it for the money. I'm in it to have some fun. You'd be amazed. Actually, you make the most money when you just have fun. Remember that adage. When you seek out the money and you try your hardest to make the money, that's where you lose. If you have fun with it, that's where the real money lies, because it comes in and you don't even notice it. You don't even know. You're just doing what you're doing best, and all of a sudden money appears. I mean, that is what greater feeling is there than to do what you love, what you're passionate about, what you want to do, and to get paid for it, So, and I'm talking, of course, about my profession, being an attorney. So I hope, I wish that upon everybody. My golden rule was always, if I can wake up every morning and say, oh, by golly, I'm going to work today, Let's go. Let's go do this. Let's go change lives, or let's go, even if you're not, let's go make the company better, or if you work for it, make my own business better. Every morning, if you can wake up and say that and say, God, I can't wait to get into the office today. I can't wait to get stuff done. I can't wait to get my that paper that the boss left on my desk yesterday, to get it on his desk and to make him happy, because that will make me happy. I mean, that's it. You're a made man. You're a made woman. You're a made person, because every day is an adventure, and every day you're happy with what you do, and you are doing things that you're passionate about, and that continually perpetuates, and that's your daily life now. And before you know it, a year, 2, 3 passes, you rise in ranks, or your business grows, and before you know it, you can retire or travel. I don't know what it is with the fascination of people who want to retire and travel later on in life, when they're in their 50s or 60s or 70s. I don't think that's right. I think you should do your traveling now as much as you can. I know some jobs don't permit it, of course. I completely understand that. But even Brett, he's going on vacation next week. God bless him. Vacations are mandatory. There's some countries that back in the day, my parents and grandparents in Russia talked about this. Their vacations would be 4 weeks long. 4 weeks. You're basically going away for a whole month on a beach somewhere. You're living in a beach house. You work for 11 months. And then you're on vacation for 1 whole month. And if, by the way, you're like diagnosed with cancer or something like that, I remember France, they may still do it. I'm not sure. I think Canada falls into that category, maybe Germany. You go on like a 4-month hiatus. And by the way, that 1 month vacation, you still get paid. You still get paid on vacation. I think the employer contributes like 40% and the government contributes 60%. Now, back then, of course, these were socialist times. But a lot of these quasi-socialist countries in Europe, Canada, and so on, if you're diagnosed with cancer and you need healing and time to recuperate, you'll get like 120 to 180 day hiatus. You basically go on vacation for half a year, and you're getting paid for it. Think about that for a second. You're getting paid to sit on a beach and heal. Where in America will you find an employer that will give you a 6-month paid vacation? Nowhere. I have never seen that in my entire life. Not in the United States. Maybe South America, maybe Europe, maybe Canada, former Soviet Union. Yes. I don't know, China, probably not in China. Maybe. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I have no idea. I really have no idea. The military has that. Government jobs, some government jobs have that if you're higher up. So yeah, this is my rant for the day. Do what you're passionate about. God bless you if you can. You need downtime. You're more productive when you're not constantly working. Did you know that? Having breaks, like they found that having like siestas for kids during the day to allow them to just like sleep for 10, 15 minutes, not more than that. You don't need an hour and a half. That actually will reduce productivity, increase in productivity for kids. 10, 15-minute nap, like a little siesta, and they can go the rest of the day with no problem. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And some workplaces do that. Some, I think it was Microsoft who pioneered this, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly who it was. But I think it was Microsoft. They created the 4-day work week where you have a little mini weekend in the middle. So you work 2 days, you're off 1 day. You work 2 days, you're off 2 days. You work 2 days, you're off 1 day. You work 2 days, you're off 2 days. And they kept it, they didn't keep it at 40 hours. I think they shaved it off. You were working 32 hours, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But people were more productive and got more work done as if they were working like 45 hours a day, even though they're working only 32. Google does that. Is that what it is? So that, I mean, that is, uh, and you're a more valuable employee when you get that downtime, when you get that break. Like one of my senior associate, Tracy, you know, I know she goes for walks. She will take a break. She'll leave the building. She'll be gone for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Do I question where she goes and what she's doing? Absolutely not. Because I know she needs that downtime to recharge her batteries, to reignite the fire in her brain, and to get that activity moving. I don't need it personally. I'm sure it would be good for me if I did it. But I know she needs it, and I don't question it. And her work gets done, and I never ask any questions. So, and I think a lot of employers lose sight of that. They're so focused on the minutia. You know, lunch was over 5 minutes ago. Where were you? You know, if employees are dedicated and they're treated right, they're going to provide value to the company, and they don't have to be micromanaged and watched every second of the day. Now, of course, you have to be careful. It's not universal. I'm very lucky. I'm building a very powerful team of very selective, you know, hand-picked individuals. If you are, my apologies, somebody is calling me right now. If you are, you know, if you have employees and they've not been vetted properly, you're going to have issues. You can potentially have very seriously, because employees will begin to abuse the system. I mean, you've all heard of the whole, is this your 8th or 9th cigarette break today? Like, are you kidding me? How many cigarette breaks do you need? Like, they take a cigarette break every time they want to just have 10, 15 minutes to themselves. That's uncalled for, of course. That's a little too much. And you'll know who these people are. We, as employers, now I can speak as one, you know, I'm an employer. We know, trust me, if you think that we're deaf, dumb, and blind, and we have no idea what's going on and who's using their time for what and where, you're an idiot. As an employee, you're a moron. We pay attention to everything. We see everything. We know what you're doing, even though we can't see you. Okay, so completely uncalled for. But certain employees simply need to be replaced. If that is the case in a company, and as an employer, do not be afraid to fire your employees and hire new ones. I have learned that lesson very early on when I had several employees that were not best fitted for the task initially. Then I had another employee that we came to a very strong disagreement about it, and I had to let him go. And it was the best decision I ever made. Never hold on to them, you know, at all costs, because you will suffer and you will hinder your progress. So, well, there's my rant on standardized field sobriety testing, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't even started on the topic. I don't know where this came from. I think somebody threw a question and it evolved into me talking about all this, because we've been growing. We now, like I said, we have Brett on the team. You got it right, Red Rex. And speaking of, before I forget. So, welcome, Brett. I know you're on the stream right now, so talking to you. Welcome. We also have an associate, a brand new associate. His name's Evan. Evan is going to be coming on June 1st. He's wrapping up his stuff at his previous job. And there he is. And I'm very excited for things to come, because I believe that by the end of the year, we may be on the hunt for our 4th associate. 4th. I mean, we're literally going to double in associates in 1 year, because we've had 2 associates in 2019. In 2019, we had 2. First, I had 1, then I had 2. And then 2020, I continued with 2. And 2021, we're now going to be at 3, and we may double and go to 4 by the end of the year. So we're growing. We're growing, folks. And it's very, very exciting time with the pandemic finally behind us. cheers to that. And I wanted to show you guys. This is probably backwards because the camera lens is going to flip the image. And Nate, by the way, just to answer your question real quick, am I planning on expanding to other areas of practice? Yes, we now do wrongful death and car accidents. I'm moving away from DUI law slowly but surely. It's going to be a long transition. It'll probably take 5 years to actually fully get there. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Please do not confuse your Google search with my law degree, is what that says. If you guys can't read that, like I said, it's probably backwards. And it says it on both sides of the cup. So if you flip it, both sides say that. Red Rex, also known as Rob. Rob, thank you so much. This is the best birthday gift I've ever gotten. I swear to God, this is amazing. Because I was ordering a bunch of stuff and I got packages, and I was like, what is this? I didn't order this. This doesn't look like something I ordered. And I opened it, and there was a note in there. There was this note right here, and it was this cup. And now I drink out of it. Now I have this cup. This is my cup. You guys know this cup. This is the cup that I made. This is Vista print, I think. Made in China. Everything's made in China. Anyway, this is Vista print. It has my firm logo and our phone number. And then on the back, of course, our office address. Again, it's all backwards, but you get the idea. And then these coasters that I got made. Also, I think Vista print, if I'm not mistaken. But these coasters that we use, and now I have this, and I'm only drinking out of this cup. Moving on, from this point forward, this is my cup, Rob. So thank you for that. Now, somebody asked, am I going to be moving to other areas of law? The answer is yes. I already have begun the transition. We are now doing more. The pandemic is partly to blame for it. I really was not planning on doing that in the strictest sense. I mean, eventually you all grow and evolve and so on. But DUIs were going so well. And I knew they were still, they're going to be waning with Uber, Lyft, autonomous cars, and so on. But I kind of always knew, but still they were going very, very well. And we continued, we were going to have 2020 was supposed to be our best year. And it still was our best year, but not as best as it could have been, but for the pandemic. I mean, we could have cleaned house, but for the pandemic. So in April of 2020, myself and I had to make a decision as to how to proceed, how to make money, how to survive. So we expanded and we created another arm, at least one arm. This was the biggest one, if you will. And this arm was car accidents. Okay. So we started doing very heavily. We started investing money into and getting the reputation of car accident law firm. So we're continuing in that direction. And now that the pandemic is finally behind us, I'm almost comfortable enough saying that the pandemic is finally behind us. By the way, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Feel free to also join on as a member if you're so inclined to get perks. Lots and lots and lots of stuff coming to you in your way if you are a member of the channel. So honorary lawyer, especially, you already have access to secret memories and secret images that no one has ever seen before. Only honorary lawyer members have access to that. And then of course you get your emojis and your badges. So we have since expanded. We've expanded to the areas of car accidents, as I've said, and we now also are pushing very heavily into the area of wrongful death. So basically, and some personal injury as well, although I'm not pushing that as heavily, it's still worth mentioning. And what we are looking for, basically in a nutshell, like if somebody asks, like, what do you do for a living, Mr. Foreman? And this is what my answer is going to be moving forward. What do you do for a living, Mr. Foreman? Well, I'm glad you asked. I help people who have been hurt or killed due to someone else's negligence. That's it. 5-second elevator speech. Mr. Foreman, what do you do? I help people who have been hurt or killed due to someone else's negligence, period. That's it. And that encompasses basically the entire arena of personal injury, car accidents, wrongful death, right? Because if you crash into someone else's car, if you crash your own car, you may be wrecked because of a manufacturer's defect. You know, it all kind of, even that one that's a little bit on the sidelines, but it's still something that we would take. Or if you get hurt, in a slip and fall or a dog bite or medical malpractice, I will still consider, although I do tend to shy away from medical malpractice just because med mal is its own different beast. I mean, I'd be more than happy to tag team a case if it's worth a few $1 million. But I mean, those cases are just so very difficult. You basically have to be a doctor and a lawyer, understand medical terms, be living in the medical school library and the law school library in order to be able to understand these cases effectively. Admin law, Nate, no, I will not touch. It's too boring for me. And employment law, we will take some cases probably, but again, I don't advertise it. I'm not heavily capitalizing on it. I'm not throwing money at it. And so we may or may not get those cases. Have I ever had someone come to you that was killed by negligence? Yes, absolutely. That's literally what I have just been talking about. Ran by Monkeys says, Mr. Foreman, I was killed due to negligence. When can we start? Well, we wouldn't be talking to each other, Ran by Monkeys, but you get the point. And yes, there is a lot of money to be made on both sides. And this is the beauty of personal injury. You get to be a prosecutor when you take personal injury cases, which is what we're doing now. And not only are you making money on it, your client makes money. You walk away with a bigger piece of the pie than the lawyer. The lawyer only gets a cut. The lawyer only gets a cut for the work that we perform. It's no fees up front. You don't pay anything if we don't recover anything. It's the lawyer's loss, and whatever we spend out of pocket, that's what we spend out of pocket. The expenses only get taken out if you recover, and you get money in your pocket for your injuries. I mean, what better deal is there, right? So there's no better deal. You get money and the lawyer gets their cut for the work that they performed. So that's, we're back in court, Mike. I'm actually driving down to a county here in Kentucky on Wednesday, and that should be fun. So, yeah, it's good to be the plaintiff. You're exactly right, Kevin. Exactly right. So today we're talking about standardized field sobriety tests. Standardized field sobriety tests. If you all know, obviously there are the three main ones: the follow my finger test, the walk and turn, and the one-legged stand. Right. So let's dive into today's topic. I've been rambling on for about half an hour now, and I want to dive in. Thank you, TM. I really appreciate it. And every case is different, Ran by Monkeys. Every case is different. So what are standardized field sobriety tests and how do they work? What are they? How do police officers conduct them? Do I have to do them? You guys already know the answer to that. What is the answer, chat? What is the answer to when an officer comes to you and says, you come over here and do field sobriety tests. What do you say, chat? No, hell no, 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 I think. No, no, nope, nope, no. We froze. No, you did not freeze. I paused, ran by monkeys. I paused because I wanted you guys. Jesus Christ says, hell yes. Go for it, Jesus Christ. You're not going to get very far. I want to speak to my lawyer. Eric, asking the question over and over again in a different way is not going to get you an answer. Okay, move on. Plead the sixth. How would you plead the sixth? How's it going, C Perceptions? Am I being detained or am I free to go? There you go. What is the sixth? I would like the right to a jury trial. Officer, I demand my peers arrive at this moment and decide whether or not I have satisfactorily completed your standardized field sobriety tests. No, you mean plead the fifth. You're right. Plead the fifth, not your sixth right to counts. Okay, your sixth. You won't. Okay, you're trying to say the right to counsel. You're not gonna get a lawyer at the side of the road. Good luck with that. I mean, unless you call your lawyer directly and they show up, which I have heard and I have done via phone, but I've not done in person before. You guys all remember the story of my actually current client at the time was stopped, and she called me and I answered. And I basically got her off literally right there on the street because the cop was like, oh, whoa, she's on the phone with her lawyer and the lawyer knows what's up. So he backed off. I literally just lost myself a $3,500 fee to $7,000 fee right there in 15 minutes. I didn't bat an eyelash because I helped a woman in distress. And that was by far the best day of my life. Best day of my life. She did not get charged with a DUI. It would have been a DUI second. Actually, it would have been more. It would have been like a $5,000 to $10,000 fee, depending on if we went to trial or not. I lost 10 grand that day. You could say that, but that's not how I look at it. I look at it, I saved that woman's ass and I'm happy for it. So you gotta always calculate. You gotta understand the difference between I get paid now or is it going to pay dividends later? And a lot of people lose sight of that. It's very sad. All right. So, standardized field sobriety tests. I'm trying to find the area with the clues. I used to have the clues memorized, but I haven't tried a case in so long. Excuse me, in so long. I should have had them here ahead of time. I apologize. But anyway, we are looking for what the officers look for, right? What we have the 3 field sobriety tests. We know what the 3 field sobriety tests are, right? Like I said, it's the horizontal gaze nystagmus. Follow my finger. Okay, follow my finger. Watch what I'm doing. And well, basically your responsibility during the horizontal gaze nystagmus. Here we go. Your responsibility is to just be a statue moving your eyes. That's all you're doing. You're looking at the finger, you're following it. That's all you're doing. You're not doing anything very special, right? And we'll get to the nuts and bolts of each one in just a moment. Then you have the walk and turn, where you have to walk 9 steps in one direction. You have to walk 9 steps back. And there are certain clues that the officer looks for there. And then you have the third test, which is the one-legged stand, where you have to raise one foot off the ground 6 inches and hold it there for a period of 30 seconds. Now, before we get to those, let's talk about the history of field sobriety tests. Okay. And we're not going to go, this is not going to be a deep dive. Again, if you're looking for a comprehensive explanation of standardized field sobriety testing, its history, usage, and so on, you've come to the wrong place. We're going to do a very, very concrete summary and explanation from a lawyer's perspective. You ready? Let's go. 35-minute mark. Boom. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get notified. Lots and lots and lots of content coming, guys. We're at 67,000 subscribers. We're going to get more stuff. Join as a member so you get the perks, the secret stuff, never before seen footage. All right. So the 3 validated tests are, first of all, there is no pass or fail, right? The officer observes clues as you perform the standardized field sobriety test. But if you show 2 or more clues on the walk and turn or the one leg stand, or 4 clues on the HGN, the horizontal gaze nystagmus, that is still considered a quote unquote fail, even though they can't testify to that. There's case law in Kentucky that says you cannot testify to that. They can still use that in their assessment, and when they present their case to the prosecutor and the court, that the subject, the person, they call them subjects because it's very impersonal. You are just a piece of flesh to them walking around with a heartbeat. The subject has failed. It's a way to remove the emotional attachment from the human being that you're dealing with, calling them a subject. You know, if you're a subject, it also shows authority. You are subjecting to the officer's power. You're a subject of the government. Here come all the sovereign citizens and their progeny saying, "Well, I will tell you something about being a subject of the United States government." Anyway, moving on. So the horizontal gaze nystagmus, you're tracking eye movement, right? Walk and turn, we talked about. One leg stand, we'll get to. Now, there are other tests that have not been standardized, and the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration does use a few of them for other purposes. And some of these tests are just used at their leisure, but they're not really all that admissible. And any attorney or lawyer worth their salt would probably strike it, and they would not be admitted in front of a jury. Now, a judge is a different story. And failing these tests while dead sober is 100% possible and very, very, very common. So I've failed these tests in a controlled environment, not by a police officer, but in a presentation, simply due to nervousness. You know, you're on stage, you're in public, you're embarrassed a little bit. And there were no ramifications whatsoever. Hey, Teeks Mills. No ramifications. They're designed for failure. They're designed for failure. That's how bad it is. So there are also alternative tests. The modified Romberg test, that's where the individual has to hold their hands out like this, tilt their head back about 45 degrees, and count to 30. And they're estimating 30 seconds. They're estimating the passage of time. How quickly does it take you to estimate the passage of 30 seconds? Basically, they're testing your internal clock, right? So if you are, let's say, if you've smoked marijuana, or if you have done maybe psilocybin, or anything that kind of like any central nervous system depressant like heroin, your internal clock is going to be a lot slower. You may estimate 30 seconds in 15, or I'm sorry, it would be like 45 the other way, 45 or 60 seconds. You would say after 60 seconds, it's been 30, when in reality it has been 60, because you have a slow internal clock. If you've done a central nervous system stimulant, like cocaine or speed or PCP or bath salts, meth, any of those drugs, you're going to estimate the passage of 30 seconds in, let's say, 15 or 10 seconds, because you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 30. You think that that's how the seconds are because your internal clock is sped up. So you will estimate the passage of 30 seconds in 15 seconds. And it's designed to throw you off by virtue of having your head tilted. They're also looking if you're swaying, if you know, God forbid, you fall over. All of those things are going to be used against you. That is used in something called DRE, Drug Recognition Expert. We won't really be covering that, but just so you know. Then there's the finger to nose, where you have to extend your arm and touch the tip of your finger to the tip of your nose, right? Like so. And they tell you which hand you're going to use. You're supposed to have it extended out. And they'll say left, and you'll use your left hand. And they'll say right, and then you'll have to use your right hand. And if they say right again, you have to use your right hand again. And what they're looking for is tip to tip. That's what they want to do. They want to see you doing that tip to tip. And I believe, I can't remember if you do it with your eyes closed or not. But you do tip your head back a little bit, and I believe you close your eyes. I'm almost 99.9% sure. Then there is the alphabet test. Now, the alphabet test, some of you are saying here the alphabet backwards. That's a Reno 911 clip. If you all remember the comedy show from the 2000s, the early 2000s on Comedy Central. On Comedy Central, it was called Reno 911, about these police officers who are like going out on these runs, and they're all like ridiculous and funny and stupid all at the same time. One of the videos from there, and it's been circulating across the web, and some people actually believe that that video is real, with that cowboy who does like a barrel roll and he adds like a few things. And she says, can you recite the alphabet backwards? And he actually recites the alphabet backwards. He does like a little dance and a little whatever. And at the very end, sorry, I'm going to ruin it for you, but it's still worth the watch. She says, wow, you are a really good dancer. And he's like, no, ma'am, I'm really not. I'm just drunk. Oh, right. And then she arrests him for just admitting that you've admitted to being under the influence. Yeah, it was a great show. Nick Swartzen was on it. He was the gay man on roller skates that would always get picked up. Officer Dangle. Yep. Officer Dangle was there. Who else? I can't remember. There were a few great names over there. But anyway, the alphabet test is, they never give you the whole alphabet, first of all. Second of all, they will give you the standard one that they usually give is D through Q. And it's done on purpose. It's to throw you off, because people who recite the alphabet, if they say recite the whole alphabet, they just start singing the song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it's easy, no matter how drunk or messed up you are. So officers and their counterpart trainers got tricky. And instead, they decided to teach, start from the middle. Take like a very awkward letter, like the letter D or like the letter G. Right. And then they're like, G, H, HIK, J, LPNOM, and then they start screwing up, and you know that they're under the influence because they can't recite, they can't sing the song unless they're really talented and a professional alcoholic. And I guess in their head, they can go A, B, C, D, E, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Right. And then they start with G, just like the officer wanted. But if you're stressed and all that, I mean, good luck with passing that. Now, the counterpart to the alphabet test is the counting test. And it's the exact same thing. Instead of letters, you're now using numbers. And by the way, they're supposed to ask you before they give you an alphabet or a number test if you're, are you a foreign national? Obviously, if they detect a heavy accent, some officers like to be very racist about it, and they know you don't understand the alphabet or know all the numbers and how to count, so they abuse that. I've seen that happen. Now, the counting test, you do, and they're supposed to ask you your level of education. I mean, if all you received was like an 8th grade education back in the day, you know, when it was common to not go above 8th grade and just go on the family farm here in Kentucky, they probably, you know, you would never be able to do it stone cold sober. So that was extremely unfair, and it does discriminate against people with no education or lower education levels. As you all may know from my channel, those of you who regularly come here, you know that I represented a commercial driver's license truck driver, a female, and she didn't know how to read or write. Now, a ton of you have asked, how on earth did she get her license without the ability to read or write? Well, first off, in order to be able to read signs, it doesn't take a genius to be able to read road signs, okay? And a lot of signs are repetitive, and it's very easy. It's very easy to learn all the signs, and then you can drive everywhere you want. Also, to operate a semi truck, you do not need. Thank you, Liberty Cause, for taking care of that problem. I must have completely missed it. You don't need a higher education to figure out how to work a clutch, how to work pedals, you know, gas pedal, brake pedal, and so on. The only question is, how did she take the test? And she actually failed 3 times, I think. 3 times she sat for the written test. She failed each time. Driver's test, she passed every time. So they offered her, would you like to take the test? Well, somebody will read it to you, and then you give us the answers and we fill it in. So they had like an intermediary person for her, and she passed with flying colors, got her commercial driver's license, and there was no issues whatsoever. God bless her. We won her case. She's driving to this day, as far as I know. So back to the counting test. The counting test, again, is very, very simple. They start with a number. They usually start in like the 50s or 60s, and then you count backwards. And again, they're looking for 2 things usually. You know, you do not want to start at an easy number like 50 or 40 or 60, start and end. So they pick like a very odd one, like start at 63 and then end at 45. And what they're looking for is, are you going to repeat numbers? Are you going to go 63, 62, 61, 61, 60, 59, 59, 58? You know, are you repeating them? Are you saying, are you skipping numbers? 57, 56, 54, 51, 50, 49. You know, you skipping numbers shows potential impairment. And finally, they're looking, are you going to stop at the number that they said? So this is testing your memory. They said 65 to 43, right? So if you keep going, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37. Do you want me to stop, officer? And now they already know. You don't remember the instructions, right? Now, by the way, all these tests that we've covered so far, other than the Romberg, they are not validated for alcohol, okay? Now, next is the lack of convergence. It's actually not on this list, interestingly enough, but I, of course, know it is a test. Lack of convergence, what they do is the officer will draw a circle around you, and he will start bringing the finger closer and closer and closer to your nose and hold it there. And they're watching if your eyes converge, right? If they converge towards the center as the finger comes to the nose. This is how they check for impairment for drugs, typically. Again, it's not very validated at all. It is a complete BS test, in my opinion, but it's out there and they use it. It just gives me fodder for cross-examination, and that's why I love it. So that's what they do. They draw a circle. They say, I will not be touching your nose, but I'll be coming as close to you as I can. And they see if they converge. And if one eye converges, but not the other, especially if you don't have an astigmatism, that could show signs of impairment. It could also be a sign of a neurological disorder, but he's trying to arrest you for a DUI. He doesn't really care if you have a neurological disorder. If you do have a neurological disorder and don't disclose it, you just help the cop convict you, or, you know, make his conviction job a whole lot easier. Next is the finger count test. This is where you go, I'm going to use this hand because it's easier to see, I think. This is where you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. right? So you're trying to keep doing this and not slipping up. And then you can do it with both hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, I just screwed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the finger count test. And finally, what they can do is a preliminary breath test. Some people call it a portable. It's a PBT. It's not portable. The P stands for preliminary. And the preliminary breath test is just to see and detect if there is the presence of alcohol. Now, it will spit out a number. It will spit out some number. And if it's below 0.08, some officers will let you go, tell you to hail a cab, or write it out and sit in the car for an hour until you sober up and process the rest of the alcohol in your system. Now there are marijuana swabs in addition to the PBT to check if there is the presence of marijuana. None of these are really admissible to a jury unless they're under 0.08. I have never seen one because I've used one. My client blew a 0.078 on the street and it was admissible, and the judge ruled it was admissible as exculpatory evidence. Now, if you blow into that and you blow over, you won't get charged with a DUI because of that. I mean, you can still get charged, but if you blow it the one at the station, which I always say, of course, refuse, that one they can use against you to convict you. But this one they cannot use to convict you because the jury will never find out the number in I think almost all jurisdictions. So those are the alternative tests. Now let's go back to the standardized ones. Now these have to be administered in the exact, and you see this certification right here. You probably can't see it fully. It's a little cut off. But this certification right here is I received in 2017 with a awesome former cop named Tony Palachis. And Tony is in Georgia. He's in Alpharetta, Georgia, and he teaches lawyers on how to administer standardized field sobriety tests. We actually sit down and we take, over a 3-day period, the entire 40-hour course that police officers take at the academy, because he's a certified instructor. He used to be. I mean, he can't really get his certification anymore because he doesn't work for the government. But he has had it, and once you learn it, you'll never forget it. So he teaches lawyers. We take the full 40-hour course, and we learn how to administer field sobriety tests. He does the exact same thing by bringing people in who some of them have been drinking, some of them have not. He tests their BAC. We actually do live tests for people who have been doused with alcohol. I've gone through the ringer. I am 1.5% cop. Isn't that cool? I've received about 1.5%, maybe 2% at most, of the training that police officers receive during their however many hours of training that they get. And 89.4% not cop. You got it absolutely right. That 2% training that they get in that 1 week, when they call it DUI week, I have done. Dude, that's funny. Jesus Christ says we dislike that 1.5 to 2% of you, but you shouldn't dislike it. You shouldn't dislike it because I use that against them. I use that to make them better cops. You should like it, but I get the joke. It's really funny. Thank you, Thomas Robinson, for the £4 donation for coffee. Cheers to that, brother. I didn't miss it. So I think every DUI practitioner needs to have that training under their belt. If they don't, I think they're cheating their client. If you're taking DUI cases and you don't know what the cop has done. I only know 1, maybe 2 other lawyers in town who have received that training. So that just goes to show. Anyway, so that training, it's 40 hours. By the way, I also recently learned, and some of you may find it shocking. I know a lot of people like to say hairdressers have to receive X number of hours. I don't remember exactly what it is. You probably can, you guys can kind of probably do your own research. But I recently found out, and this is beautiful because who would have thought? In order to become, and this is new, this is very recent, in order to, as a cleaning person, right? You're going to a house to clean. You don't need a degree. You don't need education. You don't need anything. You're just going to someone's house to clean, right? I mean, you can have a degree. I'm not saying, but you just don't need one, right? But in order to clean carpets, you now need to take a 40-hour course on carpet cleaning. So as many hours as you need to learn how to professionally clean carpets is now the exact same amount of time that you need to learn how to be an effective police officer on the scene to administer these standardized field sobriety tests. Wow, right? Absolutely wow. I have never in my life thought that these words would come out of my mouth, but here they are. And I'm sure some of you, again, it's not 4,000 ran by monkeys. How many hours of training do you need to become a hairdresser? Search. Paul Mitchell. Let's see. Requirements. 9 months. You need 9 months to become a hairdresser. Nine months. Hairstylists usually need a high school diploma or GED to apply, and typically graduate in 9 months to a year. 9 months to a year, sorry, to get an associate's degree in cosmetology, whereas cops get 1 week. 1 week. So you need a year to cut a person's hair, but 1 week to lock them up for a DUI. 52 weeks, 1 week. It's bonkers. It's bonkers. But anyway, so the 3 tests that we talked about, let's start with the horizontal gaze nystagmus. Now, what are the instructions for the horizontal gaze nystagmus? From now on, we're going to refer to it as the HGN, horizontal gaze nystagmus, right? Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Rustus Android. I can't figure out what it says. Rustus Android. 1 week that they took 15 years ago. That's exactly right, because refresher courses are not all that common. Some cops take them, some cops don't. Some of them are optional. They're not mandatory. Some are mandatory, but not for DUI. DUI stuff is not mandatory. It should be, but it's not. And again, it's cannon fodder for me in the courtroom, so I don't care. Bring it on. Okay. So the horizontal gaze nystagmus. I'm going to check your eyes, says the officer. Please remove your glasses. Keep your head still and follow the stimulus with your eyes only. Do not move your head. Do you understand the instructions? And now there are 6 clues. Now, as they are moving it, they're supposed to make 6 passes in each direction for a total of 12. And then they'll also check for vertical gaze nystagmus. We're not going to go through the full test, but basically they're looking for 6 clues. Lack of smooth pursuit, distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation, and onset of nystagmus prior to 45 degrees. Every single one of these is done twice because you check each eye separately. A lot of officers like to cheat and skip steps, and they check both eyes at the same time during the same pass. That is incorrect. You can strike that against them. It's also not a how many did I get? It's a cumulative score. It's very unlikely that you will find onset prior to of nystagmus prior to 45 degrees and not find lack of smooth pursuit. So they stack. It would be very unusual if the officer found distinct and sustained nystagmus at maximum deviation and onset, but they did not find lack of smooth pursuit. According to the manual, if the officer sees at least 4, then they have done their job right, assuming, of course, then you can say that you have found impairment. There are clues of impairment. Obviously, 0 clues, they can still be impaired, maybe under something else. So it's a decent test, but it's not very accurate. And if someone has been ingesting caffeine, for example, and they're a little jittery, they'll have naturally occurring nystagmus from caffeine. If their vestibular apparatus is not fully functioning, they may not even know about it. That will screw the test up. There are about 63 different reasons. Aspirin can create nystagmus if you've consumed aspirin that day, and some other ones. We won't go into them. There's actually a case that lists about 63, I think it is. If you see an officer write 1 or 3 or 5 clues, they did something wrong, unless you have 1 eye, in which case it wouldn't even be 5, but you would be 3, 1, 2, or 3. But if you have 2 eyes, it is not humanly possible that 1 eye has nystagmus and the other does not. That means the officer did something wrong. They did not understand what they're doing. They didn't follow their training, or you have a neurological disorder, or you have an astigmatism. The walk and turn. Let's move on. Usually the second one that they do is the walk and turn. I'm going to be the officer. Put your foot on the line, then place your right foot on the line ahead of your left, with the heel of your right foot against the toe of your left foot. Do not start until I tell you to do so. And by the way, little side note, if they don't give these instructions exactly that the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration instructs them to do, then you can ding this officer that they did not follow the instructions exactly, and these tests are inaccurate. If they skip but one step, like, do not start until I tell you to do so is a pretty crucial step. Do not start until I tell you to do so. And if they don't say that and the individual begins before they're told to do so, as soon as the instructions are over, let's say, and they begin the test, and now the officer dings them. They started the test before I told them to do so. That's a dinger. No, it's not, because the instructions were unclear. You all know the famous meme, not sure what to do. Instructions unclear. Well, that's exactly what happens to people on the street. And people get arrested for this shit, right? Unbelievable. I almost never have seen a test done properly unless some officers have a little pocket and they carry a little card with them and they take the card out and they read the card. Those officers I actually love and respect, because they respect the job and they do it in accordance because they know that their memory is faulty and they're going to screw something up, and they don't want some asshat lawyer coming into the courtroom and making a fool out of them. So they have that little card that they carry with them, and anytime they have to do the reading, they have to do the same with the implied consent, by the way. And anytime they have to administer these standardized field sobriety tests, they pull that little card out and then they read. So let's move on. Do not start until I tell you to do so. Do you understand? They have to acquiesce. If they say, no, I don't understand, you have to repeat it. Some officers get frustrated. Okay, I'm moving on anyway. That's not okay. That is brownie points for you as the defendant. You must receive an affirmative response. Yes, I do understand so far. Even if they don't, but if they said yes, that's all you need is the cop. When I tell you to begin, take 9 heel-to-toe steps on the line, and they have to demonstrate 3 of them. They don't have to do 9 as the cop. They have to demonstrate 3. But if you don't, I've seen officers not demonstrate. That's a huge one, because now you don't have a frame of reference. You, as the person on the street, you have to have a frame of reference. And if you don't, that's a dinger on the cop. So you show them the 3 steps and then take 9 heel-to-toe steps back, and the officer will take 3. When you turn on the 9th step, and the officer will show you on the 3rd one, keep your foot on the line and turn, taking several small steps with the other foot, and demonstrate. And take 9 heel-to-toe steps back. Now, this is a big one. I'm going to take a pause right here. Listen closely. I represent a lot of military folk, and you all have seen the about turn. I'm going to demonstrate. This is what they teach in the military, right? As you're walking, you finish your turn. This is called an about turn. This is a military style turn where you turn 180 degrees basically in place. This is why this instruction is so crucial, because the officer has to demonstrate that you're turning like this. This is what you're doing. You're taking a series of small steps. Again, remember how we talked about this is designed for failure? This is also called another reason to try and trip you up, because who turns like that? Even non-military people don't turn like that. Again, it's designed for failure. It's designed to see if you're paying attention. You can do a spin move. Exactly. There's so many different things that you can do. And they're all wrong, and they're all going to be counted against you. Ensure that you look at your feet. Count each step out loud. Keep your arms at your side. Ensure you touch heel to toe, and do not stop until you completed the test. And again, they must have demonstrated all of that to you. If they have not, then you have no frame of reference. That's huge, huge, huge dingers against the officer. Use that. Do you understand the instructions? Again, this is the 2nd time during this test, if you noticed. You must receive an affirmative response. If they're just standing there blankly staring at the cop, they must ask it again until they get an affirmative yes, I understand, or a or a nod, or any type of affirmative confirmation that they understand what's happening right now. You may begin. And now you start doing the test. Don't forget to like this video. Those of you just joining us, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Join on as a member. Lots and lots and lots of perks coming your way. Talking to you. Yes, you. No, not him. Not the other guy. Yeah, you. All right. If the suspect does not understand some part of the instructions, only in part in which the suspect does not understand should be repeated. It must be repeated. If it's not repeated, that's dings against the cop. So there are 8 clues that they're looking for. And don't be fooled otherwise. These are all standardized. So if a cop, I think I actually posted that one earlier today, that little highlight reel clip where the officer says, I look if they're following my instructions correctly or something like that. That's not a clue. When I asked them, what are the 8 clues? Well, I'm trying to see if they're following instructions, if they're keeping their balance. Those are not clues. Those are maybe other things you're looking for. Yeah, he tripped up. Okay, that's a dinger, but that's not a clue. What are the clues? And if an officer does not remember all 8 clues, if they read from a card, you're screwed as the lawyer. You really are screwed, because you can't be like, well, what are the 8 clues, officer? Well, I don't know, counselor. They're written on my card. I can read them to you if you want. Well, do you use that card at every interaction with every individual that you encounter on the side of the road that you're inspecting for a DUI investigation? Yes, I do. And did you do it in this case? I did. Oh. Okay, moving on to my next question. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, can we get a deal? I don't think I'm going to win this. So those are the 8 clues are, number 1, can't keep the balance during instructions. So as the instructions are being instructed, yes, I can help your cousin Junior, Trenton. Send me an email. Kevin, can you give him my email, please? Can you type it out? Stand with your, can't keep balance during instruction. So during the instruction phase, if they keep tripping up and they can't hold still, that's a clue. Starts too soon. Starts the test before told to do so. After being told, do not begin until I tell you to do so. If they still start ahead of schedule, you can ding them ding the defendant on that. You guys, not the cop. 3, stops walking. So if you are walking, you're doing your steps, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, what do I do? Am I number 8, number 9? Do I turn here? How did he say to turn? Those things are all going to be counted against you. If you miss heel to toe, if instead of stepping like this, like you're supposed to, touching heel to toe, you step like this, right? And you have a gap. Now, it doesn't have to be touching. The manual says, I believe it's half an inch. You do get a half an inch leeway. It doesn't say it on here, and I don't remember from memory, but I think it's half an inch, maybe 3/4. I can't remember. If you step off the line, now that's a curious one. What is off the line? Which line? If there's a line drawn, that's easy. But a lot of times officers will say, imagine a line. Whose line are we imagining? Is it the officer's imaginary line, or is it your imaginary line? And if it's your imaginary line, maybe your imaginary line is thicker. The officer's imaginary line is going to be thinner. Always, because they want you to fail. Your imaginary line may be the width of 2 of your feet, right? Whose imaginary line are we talking about here? So stepping off the line may not always be the case. I didn't think I stepped off the line, but he said I did. I don't know where he's coming from. Right? Using arms for balance. That's a big one, because to keep your balance, a lot of times people do this, right? They put their arms out. Even sober people, you don't need to be intoxicated. This is a natural instinct. This is your body saying, the whole point for you to fail is to keep your hands to the side. This is one of the instructions. You're going to keep your hands to your side. Now, raising your arms here is going to be a clue, but raising your arms just a few inches away from the body is not a clue. Don't be fooled, right? Next, improper turn. We talked about that one. If you do an about face. Liberty Cause says, my imaginary line is 7 feet wide. Good luck. The improper turn that we talked about, doing an about face or doing it not exactly as the officer has shown, or taking the incorrect number of steps. Some people just keep on walking. They go to number 9 and they're a little drunk, and they really do forget that you're supposed to stop and turn at 9, and they keep going 10, 11, 12. Usually the officer will stop you before you walk into traffic. That's pretty much about it. I've seen one make it all the way to, I think, 25 before, and I think the cop was just having a field day, because he's like, wow, this guy's not stopping. He just keeps on walking. And he made it to like 25 before he hit not hit, but like he bumped into a parked car. Just, yeah, see Perceptions music. That's a great idea. Just keep walking. Just literally keep walking away. Like, I guess I can leave now. Just don't run. That's fleeing and evading. Don't run. But if you just keep walking and they don't follow you, they're like, look, this guy's such a moron. Should we just let him go? You might, hey, I'm sure there's a story out there somewhere. But don't run. God forbid, don't run. You'll get shot in the back with these new modern cops. They don't know how to handle a weapon. So take an incorrect number of steps. Like I said, I had one that basically just walked into a parked car and was just like on like 24, 25, and like kind of stopped for a second, like turned around to the cop and said, I can't go any further. There's a car in my way. I can't keep walking. I need further instructions. What do I do? Oh, place my hands behind my back. Yes, officer. Where are we going? No, I don't like to go to jail. Can you take me home, please? My mom is waiting for me. So that's the one. That's the walk and turn. Let's turn to the one leg stand. The one leg stand is very simple. Stand with your feet together, arms to the side, and you have to demonstrate. Maintain this position until told otherwise. When I tell you to, I want you to raise one leg. Either one you can pick. If your left one is stronger, if your right one is stronger, I don't care as the cop. Raise it approximately 6 inches off the ground. With your foot pointed out, your toes are pointed out. Both legs straight, and look at the elevated foot. Now pause. Watch these cops on video. Watch these cops on video. Because they'll do at most 3, but usually at least one of these things, even if there's a body cam. First, they will not raise their foot 6 inches. They'll raise it maybe 3 or 4, which is a lot easier because 6 inches is pretty hard. You have to use a lot more muscle. So pay attention to that. Their foot will not be pointed out. Holding your foot like so is a lot harder than having it pointed up. This is a more natural position. This is how your foot is naturally. This is an unnatural position for your foot. So doing it with your toes pointed up is a lot easier, and you can cheat. And they'll cheat in the courtroom. I've caught one, and I had a field day with that cop. Both legs straight. They don't keep their legs straight. They'll bend their legs just a little bit, ever so slightly. No, officer, legs straight. It's a lot harder to stand up with your knees locked. It's a lot easier when you bend a little bit. It's not ergonomic, exactly. And look at your elevated foot. So it's actually 4. These are the 4. I take it back. It's a lot easier to look forward, because if you look at your foot, you lose your balance. But if you're looking forward, it's a lot easier to keep your balance with the vestibular apparatus in your ears. And you're going to count. We're back to the instructions. You're going to count out loud in the following manner: 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, and so on until told to stop. Do you understand the instructions? Again, there must be a verbal, yes, I do, or a visual. You may begin the test. Now, what are they looking for? They're looking for 4 things. And by the way, I forgot to mention, out of the 8 clues that we talked about, if you get on the walk and turn, out of the 8 clues that we discussed, if you get 2, that's considered a fail. Now, very important, if you missed heel to toe 3 times, but you did not get any other clue, is that a pass or a fail? What do you think, chat? You missed heel to toe 3 times on the walk and turn. I'm going back a little bit. I apologize. I forgot this one. You got 3 clues on the what I say, missed heel to toe. You missed heel to toe 3 times, but you didn't get any other clues. Is that a pass or fail according to the cop? We got 4 for fail, 2 for pass. Anybody else want to vote? Cast your votes now or forever hold your peace. 5, 6, 6 to 2, 7 to 2, 8, 8 to 3, 8 for fail, 3 for pass. 9, 9 to 4. Okay, so about 66% say you fail and 34% say you pass. Even more, now it's about 70-30, almost 75-25. The passes have it. That's a pass. Why is that a pass? Because you need 2 unique clues. You need 2 unique clues. You can miss every single heel to toe on every single one of the tests. But if that's the only thing you missed, You missed every single heel to toe, but you did everything else perfectly. That's one clue. And it does depend on the cop, but again, with who cares about the cop? It's about the lawyer. You got it ran by monkeys. That counts as one. So if you did, let's take another one. You did everything right, but you just kept your arms out the entire test, but you did everything else perfectly, right? That's one clue, even though you did it for 65 seconds, however long it took you to do it. That's one clue, and that's still considered a pass. If you stopped walking 100 times during the test, but you did everything else perfectly, again, we're talking about extremes here, but they do happen. That's one clue. That's considered a pass, and you need 2. So if you did an improper turn and you stepped off the line one time, and did an improper turn, that's 2. It's considered a fail. Now, there are ways around that. And of course, hiring an experienced lawyer like myself, you've seen me do it in the courtroom. It's the boards. I won't show you here. That this is not a crash course on how to try a DUI case, of course, but those boards are very useful. So what clues is the officer looking at on the one leg stand? They're looking for 4, and seeing two of them is a fail in the officer's eyes. Sways while balancing, uses arms for balance. That's the only one, by the way, using arms for balance that is in both tests, the walk and turn and the one leg stand. Hopping or putting your foot down. Okay, those are the 4 clues. And if you have 2 of them or more, that's considered a fail. Usually, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration recommends the follow my finger, the HGN, to be done first because that'll give you an indication and you can see the person's eyes. You kind of get a glimpse into their soul, if you will, right, before you begin the tests. The officer doesn't have to. Some jurisdictions actually, the follow my finger test is not admissible. And because it's not admissible, cops were trained to completely delete it from their repertoire, and they don't administer it on the street. They only administer the physical test, not the psychoactive. So it should be done first. Now, also, it very strongly recommends that you don't do the preliminary breath test first or the marijuana kit test first, because if it shows the presence of alcohol, you just cheated, right? And a lot of officers cheat because they want to know, are you under the influence? And then it's confirmation bias. Yeah, oh yeah, I saw a clue there, and I saw a clue there. I already know you're under the influence. It's just confirming my suspicions already. Although the PBT might be wrong or broken or inoperable, and you don't even know it, and you trusted it, and now you have a false positive, right? So administering the PBT should be done last. The PBT should be a confirmation of the fact that, are you under the influence or are you not under the influence, right? So that's what cops do a lot of times. And they're supposed to do usually the HGN goes first, then they do the walk and turn, then they do the one leg stand, and then they do the PBT or the marijuana swab. And if all of those show indicia of intoxication, get ready to go back in the back of the squad car. So that's it. That's Field Sobriety Test 101. And I'm going to open up the floor to questions. Let's see what people want to say. Well, what kind of questions people have about this stuff. Lay it on me. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. We've already been going for an hour. I think I've only been lecturing for about 55 or so minutes. Because the first 50 minutes. Yeah, about 50 minutes. Because the first 35 minutes was intro. Is I think the longest intro I've probably ever done. How does a good lawyer defend someone who took the test with no serious slip-up, says Jesus Christ? Masterfully. That's how. Have you seen the Zach Wester trial about the cop planting drugs in your car? Heard about it, have not seen it. See Perceptions Music. Bye, Liberty Cause. Everybody say bye to Liberty Cause. My moderator, he's leaving. He says, don't hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Don't forget it. Hit it, subscribe, share. Like it. Yeah. I like it, like it. Come on. Will it be better to refuse a field test? Absolutely, Aaron. Brett, happy birthday. Happy birthday to our legal assistant. Everybody say happy birthday to Brett, our new legal assistant. He started on Tuesday. What percentage of sober people fail these tests? I would say probably 80 or 90. Does the need to demonstrate the instructions physically or just verbally? Like I said, they have to show it. They have to show them. Time flies when you're having fun. You're right, Robert. When they take you to the station, do you have to blow? In 37 states, including Kentucky, yes. In about 12 or 13, it's probably more prudent to blow. Nebraska being one of them. Am I hitting the bar later? No, I do not drink alcohol. Although I do like going to the bars sometimes. I just don't drink. Sorry, I feel like I got something in my eye. Do they have to draw a line? No, they don't, Douglas. Great question. What is the best way to politely refuse the test? That's a great question. I'm going to lay it on you right now. Sir, would you come over here? We're going to stand right here with your arms to your sides. Follow my finger. Excuse me, officer. Are you about to administer field sobriety tests? Yeah. Officer, I very much appreciate what you're doing, but I would like to politely refuse to do your tests. Am I being detained or am I free to go? Sir, this is not a negotiation. Come over here and do. Officer, I understand what you're asking of me, and I respectfully ask again, am I being detained or am I free to go? All right, son, you're coming downtown right now. Okay. That's it. You gave him absolutely nothing. Nothing. Don't confuse your law degree with my Google search, says BR549. Good luck. What if you have no formal diagnosis, but your inner ear has been damaged from a fall? That's a great question. I mean, that's just going to be up to the jury to decide whether or not they believe you if you have no paperwork. I'm a lawyer in Kentucky, Lloyd. Is there a good book to read for a pro se lawsuit to sue a bad police department for falsifying evidence and so on? I'm broke and can't afford an attorney. I don't know any specific books, John Appleseed. Are police officers allowed to tell you indirectly to imply because of the possibility of the... I'm not sure what the question is here. Jesus Christ. I respectfully decline to do your test. There it is. Musical chairs for field sobriety. That's going to be fun. What do you do when the cop uses a boilerplate to describe results and the report is false, like saying you made errors? Hire a lawyer. Fight it. What is... Okay, it's the same question as repeating. Are cops required to demonstrate? I already talked about that. I'm saying don't take the test at the station too in Kentucky. Yes. Refuse, 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 refuse. Choose to refuse or you will lose. Remember that commercial? It still holds true to this day. It's actually truer now because the Kentucky Supreme Court has recently passed a case a week ago that basically says blood test refusals are inadmissible in a court of law. They have to offer you a breath test. It's the best decision I've ever seen. Have I ever defended someone on a bicycle DUI? Yes, I have. It was actually one of my, was it the first jury trial we've ever done? It was the first jury trial I've ever done. It was a bicycle DUI, actually. Can you go to the manufacturer of the chemical tests for false positives? Can you sue them civilly? Good luck. By the way, if you're over the age of 65 or more than 50 pounds overweight, you should not be administered these tests. If you have a medical condition, they're supposed to ask you all these questions. Before you begin, I forgot to mention that. Great questions. We're not talking about drug dogs or search warrants. That's a different video, Racing to the Moon. Is the little diner behind Churchill Downs the bed and breakfast spot in Louisville? I don't know. I've actually never been there, John Appleseed. That's a funny question. Have you ever seen a case so airtight, very high BAC, cop following procedure to a T and doing everything correctly and there's no way to get it reduced or dropped? Sure. It happens sometimes. Usually there's always something to do to get some type of result out of it. And the cop deserves as much respect as you feel he deserves, or she. So I would always say err on the side of caution because they have a lot of power on the street. They can shoot and kill you if you make the wrong move. So tread lightly on the street. Fight it in court. Don't fight it on the street. Jesus Christ, you keep asking the same question over and over. If you copy and paste that, I can't help you. I don't understand the question. Rephrase it. Would it help if you said your lower back hurts so you can't do it? Sure. But why go that far? Just say, I politely refuse. You don't need to use an excuse. Just assert your constitutional right. They can't do anything to you other than arrest you. Aren't officers allowed to lie to you to get you to incriminate yourself? Absolutely, all the time. If you're asked to take field sobriety tests and you have not drank or taken medications, you're 100% sober, is it best to take the test so you'll not get arrested? Still no. If you're not going to go to jail, if you refuse, they may not arrest you. If they do, you still have a good case. Now, if you really have not done anything at all, it might be better to blow at the station and give them blood because then your case will come back. But how often does that happen? I mean, officers very rarely make such a big mistake where you're so sober, unless you do have like a neurological disorder where you're so nervous and scared that, maybe your anxiety kicked in and you look intoxicated and they still think you're under the influence. But usually officers make the right call. They don't arrest people that are sober. It's extremely rare. It does happen, but it's extremely rare. Can I refuse to close my window? I think you mean open my window more than 5 centimeters because of coronavirus. Sure, maybe. Are police officers allowed to tell you indirectly to comply because of the possibility of I don't know what the ARD program is. You keep asking me like I'm going to magically now understand what it is. Did I win? Asks Edward. Did I win what? Where? And yeah, you can get a DUI on a bicycle or a scooter. They do happen. Jesus Christ, I'm about to put you in timeout if you don't stop asking the same question. I swear to God. It's really annoying. Can you get a DUI on a snowboard? No, it's not a motorized vehicle, I don't think. That's a great question. A snowmobile, yeah. Snowboard, probably not. Wheelchair, if it's motorized, maybe. Non-motorized, probably not. Or maybe. I don't know. Never had that question before. Never had a case like that. Can you get a DUI while push mowing your lawn? Probably not. Riding lawnmower, yes. We've had that case here in Kentucky. And some of you know Steve, the DUI lawnmower guy. He's hilarious. Watch his videos if you're gonna get. He's a hoot, especially the forklift one. Oh my god. Oh my god. I remember like yesterday. It's so funny. What evidence can they use for probable cause if you refuse the field sobriety test? You're driving. Your privileges for if you're convicted of a DUI in a wheelchair, your wheelchair privileges are suspended for 1 year and you have to roll everywhere you need to go, says Douglas. You just made my day, bro. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Sure, Lloyd. I'll be your lawyer any day. Should a driver invoke the right to an attorney at the officer's initial questions? No. Right to silence, yes. Not the right to an attorney. Thanks, Gil. Did I ever want to be a cop? No. No. Can you get a DUI on a horse? Yes. Accelerated rehabilitation program. First offender gets a pass with community service and a fine. That's ARD. Accelerated. Okay. Okay. So let me go back to the question. Is it illegal for them to give you indirect advice about the program? No, they're just helping you out, man. That sounds like they're actually on your side a little bit. Or maybe they're pretending to be. Either way. How to get the fees from getting your vehicle towed and impounded. If you can get someone to pick it up, but they won't waive them for you. You got to pay for the work someone else has done, KM. Pod DUI. I have a whole video on it, Tom. I'm not going to be talking about it today. Go to my channel. You'll find it. A horse is considered a non-motorized vehicle. It's considered a muscle-propelled vehicle. So it's a different type of DUI, but it's still a DUI. Just like on a bicycle, just like on a motorized non-motorized scooter, excuse me. Anything non-motorized, there's a much lower penalty. It's not like a DUI because I mean, let's say you're really drunk and you get on your bicycle and you hit somebody, you know, you're not gonna. I mean, you could in theory kill them, but it's not considered as lethal. Like a car, you're guaranteed to like kill them if you hit them head on at high speed, right? But on a bicycle, even at high speed, you'll break a bone or something. But how often does that really happen? Oh, did you guys hear Aaron? Oh, you bring up a great question. I'm going to look this up. This is like this happened to this guy twice. He was in a Tesla. He was in a Tesla in the back seat. He was in a Tesla in the back seat, and he was driving or riding, I guess you would say. He was riding in the back seat. This just happened. Police arrest Tesla driver saying he operated car from back seat. Tesla Model 3 driver is charged with reckless driving after police got 911 calls. And what ended up happening is I think, oh my God, this is hilarious. Look at this photo. Look at this photo. California police arrest serial backseat Tesla driver for abusing autopilot. He got picked up for a DUI. He was in the back drunk, and he put the car on autopilot, and they arrested him. I think they confiscated his car or something. He went and bought a second Tesla and did it again and got arrested again a second time for operating a motor vehicle under the influence, being in the back seat of a Tesla. That's funny. That's funny. The unwritten golden rule of partially automated vehicles is simple. Don't be dumb. Apparently, this rule needs to be a little more profound or mandated. Because despite laws and standards being set in place that define vehicle automation, some people just don't seem to get it. Fortunately, the California Highway Patrol does. On Tuesday, the CHP arrested 25-year-old Param Sharma, a Tesla driver whose presence was made viral after photos and videos of him riding in the backseat of his Model 3 circulated on social media. They say that on May 10th, they received several complaints from motorists regarding a Tesla Model 3 traveling on the highway without a driver in the front seat. This is so bad. An officer spotted the vehicle, but so good. An officer spotted the vehicle near the Bay Bridge toll plaza and initiated a traffic stop where the rear passenger was seen moving into the driver's seat. The officer then arrested and charged him with 2 counts of reckless driving and disobeying a peace officer. Apparently, Sharma is no stranger to backseat driving. As the CHP acknowledges, he was cited previously on April 27th for similar behavior. I thought he was under the influence. Maybe I'm wrong. On May 8th, they publicly acknowledged that they were aware of a similar stunt that was captured and posted on YouTube just 3 days earlier, noting that they were actively investigating the incident. Sharma's YouTube channel and famously controversial Instagram account, which is filled with photos of jewelry, high-end cars, and money, are perhaps even more damning. In May, he shared a photo of a news report which referenced the CHP's investigation of the May 5 incident with a caption indicating that he came out of the pandemic in a self-driving car. Just as a reminder, despite Tesla calling a subset of its autopilot suite full self-driving, you can't actually buy a self-driving car. They're not available yet. Even the current FSD beta still requires someone at the wheel, something which Tesla even admitted to the California DMV just months ago. Later that night, he posted a video of himself in the backseat of a Model 3 watching Tesla's Autonomy Day presentation. And on the day of his arrest, he posted another video indicating that he bought his license just hours before being pulled over. Oh my God. This guy is an idiot. Sharma has not posted any additional videos following his arrest, likely because the police towed the Model 3 upon the arrest to use as evidence. Regardless, the stunt is absolutely dangerous and comes just weeks after Tesla Model S made headlines when it crashed into a tree and caught fire. That did happen. Only for officials to not find anyone in the driver's seat. Wow. They need a sensor in the seat. I agree. They're literally, he's given them ideas what they need to do to avoid this thing from happening in the future. Still funny, though. I mean, what a dumbass, but still funny. Can I get a DUI in Kentucky? What is it? DUI and ecstasy? Sure. Yeah, he's doing that for attention. Not from Elon Musk, from the public. I doubt Elon cares. I guarantee he heard about it, but I highly doubt he batted an eye for that story. Anyway, if you talk about some sort of injury before a field sobriety test, is it illegal for the officer to withhold the information on the report? Great question. It's not illegal. It's very dangerous because if that comes out, especially if it's on video and they didn't, oh my goodness. Let me block this person real quick. Sorry about that, folks. Just doing some maintenance since I'm the only one with moderator privileges. All right, there we go. Congratulations, Adrian. Can you get a DUI from cold medicine? Sure, if you're under the influence. You remember the campaigns, the slogans, buzzed driving is drunk driving. What was the another one? If you feel different, you drive different. I mean, when you think about it, even driving while sick, you're not going to get a DUI. I mean, I guess you could if you're under enough like medication or something that's impairing you. But if you're just getting sick, right? A common cold or the flu or God forbid coronavirus. Let's say you are getting sick. You're driving different. You can't pay attention as much. Your nose is stuffed. Your head is hurting. Your ears are popping. You're driving around. You're trying to pay attention to what's going on. You're driving different. You're not under the influence. Yeah, I'm gonna make you a mod, bro. That's a great idea. I didn't think about that. Thanks, Brett. Yeah, this was very informative. I hope you guys learned something. We've been here for about. Am I in American Airlines? No, I don't work for American Airlines. No, it's okay, Jesus Christ. I was just very confused, but I hope I answered that. Would I consider hiring someone straight out of law school? Absolutely. It'll take a little bit of time to train them, but when we need our fourth associate, which is probably going to come sometime in maybe by January. I think by January we'll probably need our fourth. That's my timeline. It may come sooner. Hell, I mean, who knows? It might come in July or August. Unlikely, but possible. Anything's possible. You never know. No problem, RJ Scum. This is what we do. And this will be, if you guys missed any portion of this, by the way, those of you who are here, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, join as a member to get all secret perks. You know, go back. It's going to be on our YouTube in about 20, 30 minutes once YouTube finishes processing it. So this is all for you guys. I always say, people are like, why are you giving free advice on YouTube? Right? I have made more money in my entire life giving free advice than trying to cut corners and make $1 for every little word that comes out of my mouth. Think about that for a minute. Thanks, Red. You just bought me a pack of gum. I appreciate it. I'm dead serious. Free advice, because when you give for free, people understand you're not a hog. You're not greedy, and they come to you because, especially if you show that you know your stuff, you know. Why do they ask you about the contacts when you get pulled over? That's the HGN test. That's part of the HGN test. This should serve as my pro bono work, but I'm not logging these hours. I'm just doing it for fun. It's fun for me. I'm also an attention whore. You guys know this by now. I mean, this is why I try cases. I love the attention being on me, and me. So it feeds my ego to be here and have you guys absorb all this stuff. So it goes both ways. If I wouldn't be doing this if it would just be like a miserable experience for me. I love it. I love it. Can I be a lawyer with a dismissed DUI on my record? Sure. You can become a lawyer with a conviction for a DUI on your record. I think half of my, well, I shouldn't say this. I know a lot of people who have DUIs who are lawyers, but they got their DUIs before they went to law school. I mean, when you get a DUI after law school and after you become a lawyer, that's a little bit more difficult. Have I ever done a murder case? No, but maybe I'm about to. Thanks, RJ Scum. He bought me a coffee. Thank you, bro. Has my client base increased during 2020? No, but it actually remained about the same. It remained about the same, surprisingly. I was very surprised. We didn't resolve as many cases. No, it must have went down. I lied. It went down. But not by a lot, because I don't know. We did okay. We did okay during the pandemic. Very lucky, very blessed. And I'm hoping that this year will be even better. God bless Eric Brand. I do hope he gets out soon. Didn't he get like 17 years or something recently? It's bad, really bad. Oh yeah, I just this is my gift, my birthday gift to myself. I did really well on the stock market, so I bought myself a Rolex, Robert. Oh, 12 years. I thought it was 17 years. That's good. Thanks, Robert. 12 years. Yeah. Feels bad, man. I hope he gets out. Like, I hope they're appealing his case and that he gets out. No, I did not get into the GameStop game. I was asleep. I made all my money on Dogecoin. And by the way, this is a little plug, and at this point, it really doesn't matter who's in it and who's out of it. But Dogecoin is the future currency of the world. I am firmly convinced of that. So if you guys want to get in on the action, you better do it yesterday, because if you wait, before you know it, it's going to be $2, and before you know it, it's going to be $5, and before the year is out, it might be $10 a coin. And right now, it's only 50 cents. So very strongly recommend, if you're thinking about investing in, don't invest your life savings. Don't be stupid, But if you want to like triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple your money, you may be able. Dogecoin is about to go to the moon. It's got the second richest person at the time. First, he dropped down because his net worth went down since his SNL appearance, where he admitted to the world that he has Asperger's. It's got the backing of the second richest person on the planet. That's not the reason why. It's also a meme, and it's funny and it's cute, and it just has everything going for it. It was created in 2 hours by some guy in July of 2013. It's going to be the people's currency. It's going to be the people's currency. I'm firmly convinced. Now, don't come after me if you lose all your money. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. This is not fiduciary. We don't have a fiduciary relationship and all that, But I don't know. I think gold is dropping. So gold, silver, they're collapsing. They're going to collapse. Gold is going to disappear. Gold, the virtual gold, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, XRP, Ethereum, that's the new gold. That's the new gold. Actual gold, and I'm sure that what's his name? Liberty Cause would kill me for this, because he's like, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. Gold is actually dropping, and gold will eventually disappear. In my opinion, I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. Silver is abundant. Diamonds, who knows? Copper, precious metals. It all depends on what happens. Some catastrophic event happens, and copper has been rising. I noticed other metals have been rising. It depends. It all depends on the state of the world. I mean, that hack that happened recently on the gas line. Gas prices skyrocketed, and I'm sure I don't think the price of oil barrels really changed all that much, because it was very localized. But something national happens, like some barge carrying millions of tons of oil sinks. I mean, that's going to skyrocket the price of oil. These events are unpredictable. So it's hard to predict. Like Bitcoin, remember Bitcoin, the famous story, 10,000 Bitcoin were used to purchase a pizza in like 2012. 10,000. What would that be today? I think I did the math the other day, and let's see, United States dollar to Bitcoin. If you take 10,000 Bitcoin, how many millions is that today? That's $474 million. That's a $500 million pizza. It was two pizzas. Two pizzas. Two pizzas. Each pizza costs $250 million in today's money. Don't buy it on Robinhood. I don't trust Robinhood anymore. My friend actually said there's this website called Bittrex. I'm gonna put it in the description. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being that dude? Can you imagine being that dude who paid $250 million for a pizza and he bought 2 of them? $500 million. That's insane. That's absolutely bonkers. I mean, it's not a reason to kill yourself, but somebody told me a story not that long ago about some celebrity. I forget who it was. Uh, not Ryan Gosling, the other Ryan. Maybe it was Ryan Gosling. Anyway, like one of these celebrities' brother. One of the celebrities' brother. I had a ton of Bitcoin when I was in high school and sold it all to buy drugs. Never admit to it, Adrian. Yeah, you would have been a millionaire if you held. And he like when Bitcoin was rising, like he would post. I think Ryan Reynolds. Does he have like a junkie brother? Is that the one? Does Ryan? I think Ryan Reynolds was the one that I'm thinking of. I can't remember. Anyway, I think he has a junkie brother, and he used to say like during the rise of the Doge, the Bitcoin, he would say, you know, because his brother sold a bunch of Bitcoin for drugs back when they were worth nothing, and he was like, yeah, my brother would have been worth 310 million today, and then it would rise a little bit more. And today, my brother would have been worth $320 million. A few more days, and today my brother would have been worth $350 million. Like, it's so sad. So sad. He sold it all to drugs, and I don't know if he's still alive or not, or if he's still a junkie. But at the time, really sad. Really, really sad. But you know, you can never predict these things, and you can never predict these things. I don't believe in all the sister currencies. There's like the whole Doge killer from Japan, like the Shiba coin, the Safe Moons, all the copycats. They're not going to survive very long. Right now, they're hot stuff. But if you got in like 2 months ago, you made money. You made some money. You made maybe not millions, depending on how many you bought, but you definitely made maybe tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even a couple hundred. But now buying into it, good luck. That's a real gamble because no one is really backing those universally. Only so I'm backing Dogecoin. That's just my own personal thing. Anyway, why don't I trust Robinhood? Because every time they get overloaded, they crash. I remember there was like a huge sell-off about a week ago on like a Tuesday or something, and they just collapsed. It just collapsed, and people panicked. And they started selling because they're like, oh my God, it's not working. I got to sell. So it was a panic sell, which was completely unnecessary. It was completely stupid. But it is what it is. How do you withdraw? You just convert it, RJ Scum. Anyway, we digressed a whole lot, but I wanted to talk about it for any of you, those who are interested. Like I said, I'm a huge supporter of Doge. It is now May 15th, 2021. This is a recording, so this will be live. This is live, and this will be available on YouTube. Mark my words. By the end of the month, Dogecoin will be $1 a coin. By the end, maybe even the end of next week. However, by the end of summer, it may be worth $5 a coin. And by the end of the year, it will be worth closer to 7, 8, 9, or 10. How does one get Dogecoin? Either go to this website, bittrex.com, or go to Robinhood and buy it there. Again, I could be completely wrong, but it is now officially on the internet, and it came from me. We'll see if I'm right. So here we are. We're about to approach the 2-hour mark, literally exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. I feel like I haven't streamed in a couple of weeks because last week it was just a birthday party celebration type deal. So we didn't really get to do a lecture of any real magnitude. But I appreciate. Here we go. 2 hours exactly. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. I hope you learned something today. As always, the DUI guy here. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you get notified. More content coming. I'm pumping out content as much as I can, as much as I get it. I now have a TikTok manager. I call him my TikTok warlock. His name's Alex. He's amazing. He's working on my stuff as we speak. And he's continuing to pump out content. If you haven't joined TikTok, I know some of you are against it, but feel free to join TikTok and follow us on there. If you're on there, if you don't want to go on, then don't go. They're going to be on YouTube anyway, so don't worry about it. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and the rest of your weekend. And I will see you next Saturday, same time, same place. And I don't know the topic yet. We may start doing, so this is just real quick, some of you who are still here, we may start doing current events. I've run out of topics. I don't know what else to talk about that's criminal law related, unless I'm going to start talking about personal injury, but I'm just now getting my feet wet in it. So I don't really feel all that competent to really teach, not teach, but like discuss it, I suppose. But I think we're going to start doing current events for now, kind of like Rob does. It's been 2.5 years that I've been doing this. I started in February 2018. February 2018, I think, is when I started. So it's been 2.5 years. Yeah. And I ran out of topics. I just don't know what else to talk about. No, it must have been 2019. Yeah. Anyway, 2.5 years I've been doing this, and I ran out. Doing this once a week at the most. I did take like a break. So in theory, I've only done it for about a couple of years. Anyway, I digress. We're going to start doing current events and hopefully have some fun with it. Okay. So again, thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful weekend. The DUI guy signing off. God bless you all. Take care. Bye.